Oh, my God. Oh, you're asking for it doing that shit. We're recording right now, so.
Oh, how's it feel to say we're recording right now, huh,
some-
Brett? You don't forget to say that.
It makes me proud. Okay. Oh, gonna vomit. You puke right back into my coffee. Whoa! Didn't see you there. Just figured I'd try that.
How'd it work?
It was horrible.
How'd it feel?
As if you may or may not notice, we're in a different locale than we've ever been before. Sunny Greenfield Center, New York, at my homestead. You're used to seeing it in another direction, but now you're seeing it in this direction, so...
One Direction.
One Direction. Harry was the best. As we know. Anyway. We thought, instead of the normal format, let's do an E3 wrap-up show. But
Late to
little
the party.
did we know that last night we would go out and see Foreigner, Whitesnake, and not Jason Bonham, because we were late again. I mean, really, it's two things that we're late at this point. We're talking about late to the opener for the concert that I actually did want to see.
Yeah.
Because we were busy drinking Four Loko Golds, chugging them.
You got it.
It's really,
You
it's
gotta.
really, really necessary to do so. I hope I'm not fucking blowing out this mic.
I think you're fine.
Anyway, so Dylan, we had a marvelous E3 this year. A year for video gaming that will see no equal for quite some time.
See none of the games for quite some time either.
We are not gonna. Oh. Elder Scrolls, you fucking. So
Six.
Elder
Sick.
Scrolls.
Sick font
Sick.
treatment.
Sick.
Sick. Is that a mountain, dude? You're telling me
Wow.
there's mountains in an Elder Scrolls
Somebody
game?
painted a mountain and then they did some video tracking on a camera and After Effects on it.
I don't know if they
and
painted
moved
it.
it
It looked
through
like
the-
it was in Engine Mountain. What engine? I don't know what engine.
In engine walking.
No, I didn't say walking.
That's Death Stranding. in engine walking is Death Stranding. Should have just said it at the beginning of the video. So, overall thoughts, impressions of E3 before we actually drill down all of the things about E3 in their entirety. Overall, how do you feel about E3 this year? I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is probably the first time where I ever actually gave a shit. Like, because I think it was
Or
probably
tried to
because
give
you
a
did.
shit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, last year, I probably watched, like... Well, it's also because we had to switch out this year. That's another thing where now you're seeing, like, you know, a new console out there. And I just gave a shit about it more for some reason, I think, at this point.
Wow, pick the worst one to actually give a shit about.
What?
The console.
Well, no,
You're like,
not the
oh,
console. I'm just saying
Nintendo.
the E3.
Oh
This
boy,
E3
let me tell you,
overall.
you like fucking mech games, associated mech games, because that's our new big announcement.
Hey, man, whatever. They did some more stuff during the Treehouse, dude. Well, that okay.
Like
so
what? Played
whatever.
Smash Brothers.
That brings us into the general idea of this show. I think at least this is what I took away from it.
Yeah, we know how we're always on the same page. So.
There are a significant amount of developers and studios that are beginning to give less of a shit about E3, holding games hostage, keeping secrets about games and shit like that.
That's always the case.
Yeah, but I feel like this time they're like throwing all their cards out on the table. There's like a...
Oh, you're saying that this year they actually threw all the cards out on the table?
Well, some
'Cause you got-
devs didn't, some studios didn't.
You
They-
got two fucking title treatments for Bethesda games that aren't coming out for 6 years.
Right. I mean, that's frustrating. I don't know if that's something that happened last year, if it continues to happen. Are they?
Sometimes.
Is it becoming more and more is it becoming more and more likely that studios, just to keep fans happy, are just putting out these title treatments like these little tiny fucking teaser
Usually
shits?
there's more than that.
There's more of them than that?
No,
overall?
Usually there's more to them than...
Right, that's what I
than
was
those.
saying, was that it seems to
Even
be an
if
increasing trend.
like the first time they showed Death Stranding, there was at least a trailer.
Right.
If there was a little bit, even if it didn't make any sense, it was.
I mean, it still
there.
continues to not. So
Yeah, I mean, well, it's never gonna. You're a postman.
Yeah.
You're space postman.
The concept of that, to me, like if you try to work backwards from what you see in this trailer for gameplay and everything else, it's like Kojima's just sitting in a room talking to somebody and he's just like, all right, I got this idea for a game. He has to say stay with me 500 times because I don't think anybody's with him the entire time he's talking about it.
He never has to explain anything. Sony's just like, here's a stack of money.
Here's $40 billion.
Here, you make something. We want a game.
We know you
Kojima,
like...
make us a game.
We know you like Norman Reedus. Do you want us to get Norman Reedus for you?
We'll get Norman Reedus.
We'll get him.
Mads Mikkelsen.
He's trying to film something right now, but we'll just cancel that and get Norman Reedus for you.
But you got to make the game. Promise you'll make the game, Kojima.
Good boy. And then they could slap that big old Kojima Studios fucking sticker on that shit. Boom!
Sick.
You want to buy this. All right.
It's, Kojima Productions.
Kojima Productions.
Not studio.
So, do you want to go through this sort of quickly through each piece? So
we
EA
can.
Starting with EA.
We already kind of did EA last week.
Yeah, we
just
discussed a little
seen
bit of it. The only thing that I want to say in addition to, I mean, we talked about Anthem pretty not in depth, but just it's been done to death. So, the one thing I wanted to say was that the
you turned around on it because you weren't turned around on it last time.
Oh, I haven't turned around on Anthem. I still probably, again, they're not marketing to me. They're not talking to me about it. That's a game that's
like Destiny.
I played it, but I couldn't get into it because I felt the scale of it was a little overwhelming.
I'm playing it again.
Which is supposed to be a main selling feature of the Destiny gaming franchise. Is that, wow, it's a big open fucking world and you want to do, you can do everything. But the thing is I found myself repeating a lot of the same old shit, and I wanted to see new environments. And you can't really do that.
With Destiny.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
is
know
that
if you're
a lot of
with
times
Anthem too either.
Right. That's again.
However,
it's another game that they're not selling to me.
Maybe if you jump in with me and Andrew right at the beginning, you might have
be a more positive experience.
Going through because Destiny, you came on late and
what do you
never played it.
Patient gamers. What do you?
You also paid $15 for it too, didn't you?
Oh yeah. What do you think is the selling point to games of its type? What do you think makes games like that so popular, like Anthem, like Destiny, these large-scale first-person shooters?
The draw is that you can play them infinitely.
So, like, for those people that like feel like it's the same idea as people who play Skyrim or people who play a game or The Witcher. Like, it's like you can't even get through the game without the DLC, and then when the DLC comes out, it's a full game
The Witcher's a different story. That's because you're actually there's just a shit ton of quests to do. That one's so there is a visible end to a game like The Witcher, whereas the idea of Destiny is that you keep grinding out to get better loot. Right. It's just a loot grind basically, and then they add more stuff onto the same world, so you never have to actually leave the world to go do the new stuff that they add on. It just kind of gets incorporated within the game.
Is it the repetition that's the appeal of that?
Yeah.
At some point it just feels like gambling, or at some point it feels just like resource mining management. Just to get new shit. I need the quest for more shit.
The loot grind. Yeah. That's what it is. You do the raid
I don't think
to get the high level gear, to do the raid again, to hopefully get higher level gear.
Right.
to put a shader on it.
I feel like
so
I
that
don't
you
have
look
the right
cool
brain
while you're
for
going
it.
through the raid to get the high level gear.
Anyway, let's talk about a game for me that actually had 2 games that actually had a story. Of course, we know.
Madden 2019 coming to
Yes.
PC. First time ever.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. The game that I've never bought in my entire life, and I'm going to continue to not buy, that and FIFA.
The last Madden had a story mode that people said was pretty cool, but also short.
Ooh, wow.
So maybe if it ever goes on sale for like $10,
Give it a whack.
give it the old.
Start playing football, even though I don't know dick about football.
It's not NFL Blitz. I don't want it.
If it's not NBA Street, I don't want it.
If I can't upend some idiot running at me 100 miles an hour.
The fact that EA didn't release a trailer for NBA Street Volume 3 is upsetting.
I talked about NBA Live, but that
With Street Mode or some shit tacked on, wasn't it? They had like
you could play in the streets.
Whoa.
Car.
In the It's so realistic. It gives me a sense of nostalgia I'm not sure I've ever felt before.
I'm wondering if there's NBA Live. I think that's the shitty one, and then the one that everyone buys is 2K. Everyone likes the 2K NBA game, and they hate Live. I think that's how it works.
Okay.
So,
Um,
EA owns Street. So.
Unravel.
Two.
Yarny's back with a friend.
TOO 2WO.
Is it
The
is
letter-
it Yarny or Laurel?
Yarny.
It's
good,
Yarny.
Good joke.
I mean, we're behind on the press conferences, so we might as well be behind on jokes
Life.
on life in general. I mean, a night filled with debaucherous, unadulterated drinking and classic rock is really just enough to set you behind for at least a week for me and my getting to my old age. So you know what we should do at the wrap up, at the end of the wrap up.
Let's just play.
We'll do a little
Unravel
bit of
2.
foreign, or that'd be good. We could do that. I mean, it's 15. That's the other thing. That bitch is $15.
It's 20.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? $20. That is a really cheap game. That's a really, really cheap start. Like, I understand it's probably only like however many. It can't be that many hours to play.
Probably
But
5-ish. I don't know.
like, if it's a 5 or 6
Probably a
hour
6-hour
game, I think for $20 for a 5 or 6 hour game that looks amazing, and as I've stated in my notes, this is the play this with your significant other game of the year, and we haven't even closed the year out. I know for sure that the simplicity
How do you
of
even
the,
know that?
of the
How could you possibly know that?
I'm just speaking in
Because
superlatives.
you won't even play it. That's the thing.
I'm gonna play it.
Bullshit.
Trust me, I'm gonna download that bitch
All right.
right after.
I want a full review.
Oh my god, I do want to play it. Honestly, if it is that short of a game,
I
think
wanted to
will
play the
it.
first one. Guess
Yeah,
what
I
never
didn't
played?
play it.
That
But
one's
look- but look.
$5 right now on sale. So maybe you pick up both of them.
Oh, maybe I will. Maybe I'll play Yarny's grand initial adventure and then fucking team up with his little precious little blue partner. Anyway, I think it's a great looking game. The gameplay is intriguing.
Unless it plays like shit.
It might. I mean, it does have that momentum-based mechanic, the fucking little Big Planet mechanic, where you're running and it feels like you're like chugging
Floating?
like a fucking like it's like locomotion.
Locomotion of
Locomotionally? That's the beer talking. I'm still working it out of my system. I'm sweating like a cow right now. Feel like a beached fucking whale. Speaking of beach whales, Sea of Solitude.
Oh, it's
A game about a
Death
monster,
Stranding.
which I can totally identify with. A game about where you're the monster. I immediately, when that woman came out on stage and she started talking about stuff, I was like, you have me in the palm of your hand. I will give you a blank check with your name on it, right? To cash.
also don't
Put
put
any
anything
number you
higher
want
than
on
$20
it.
bucks on there because
This game it looks good, but it ain't $40 good.
see Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, but I will say, I'm glad that even though EA is whatever they do and however much horse shit they get from everybody in the community for all the correct reasons, they at least try to make it look like they're investing in independent publishers and developers.
Fake it
But
till
they're
you
not.
make it.
They're not.
Well,
they're
they
saying
are.
like, "Oh, look at this game that somebody already did. Let's buy that shit," and frame it as
That's every
up
publisher.
and coming. Well, right, but their aim of it is like kind of like the Nindies thing, where it's like we're gonna put you in a special category and make everybody feel warm and fuzzy that they're supporting an independent developer.
Well, they do put them in a special. It's called EA Originals.
Exactly. EA Originals is basically saying like it's different than it's different than our normal AAA type. Don't you love that we do that? Don't you love that we
they
give
do.
you these little independent little
Yeah, but
developers?
they give the developers
to
money
cry about?
to do it.
Well, yeah.
It's not like they
it's
just
the
come
only
and-
way they're going to be able to get any exposure for this game. It would have died.
It's also like not like they're like coming in and buying it at the last step of the
They're
game
just
being
scoping around.
made.
They're like a talent, like a concert promoter. They're just looking at the thing and they're just like, I think this is going to go in the right direction. I think we should probably grab
Yeah,
this.
and then you throw money behind it so they have the resources and
Yeah, you
everything.
just throw
to
them a bunch
make-
of money.
That's
And
what
then-
publishers do.
And then you stress them the fuck out and cause the lead developer to go into a mental spiral and push the game to its limits and then release it early. No Man's Sky reference there?
He finished the game. That's
is
the
it
game
too-
he wanted to make.
he
Just
finished
no one knew what the game was that he wanted to make.
The game that he wanted to make versus the game that that Sony said that he was going to make is
Two different
two
things.
different things. Absolutely. That's again another example. But okay, so the woman at Sea of Solitude crushed my heart into little tiny
Yeah, you
pieces.
still won't play that game.
If it's a 5-hour game, listen.
Listen,
What's the rule, Dylan? Is it a 5-hour game?
if it's a 5-hour game, I'll buy it and play an hour of it.
Yes, exactly. You always fucking misunderstand me. So, moving on to Xbox.
X gonna give it to you.
X gonna give it to you. Old Philly Spencer's gonna deliver it to you. So what did Philly have this year for us? Quite a few.
The old cheesesteak.
Quite a few old Philly cheesesteak. Obviously, I could jump out ahead of everything because I could give a shit about everything else except
Oh, the Halo. That was another one that was basically just a.
Just a
there was
sting.
there was a little more than.
I mean, it wasn't any more than Elder Scrolls 6. It was
Yes, it was.
basically like a well.
There was characters.
All right, it wasn't. It was the same as Doom Infinite. It was in the
Yes,
same
okay,
category
yeah.
as Doom Infinite. It was the same whatever.
Doom Eternal.
What the hell's Infinite? Isn't there an
The
Infinite?
Halo
somewhere?
Infinite.
Okay, I got the two
Hey.
confused. Halo, Doom Express, and fucking Doom Eternity.
I was more
Calvin
upset
Klein.
that there weren't like, hey, we fixed the Master Chief Collection, and it's out on Game Pass, and also you can play it on your PC.
What was the story with that? What
It's
does
still
fixing it mean?
Broken.
So
The multiplayer is still broken on that game.
wow. Oh my god, I didn't know that. I guess.
They're also
Holy
doing
shit.
the 4K patches for it too for the Xbox, the One X. They're not done with those.
So right now they're showing people a game that's at least how many years do you think this game would be out based on the limited amount that they showed?
I say they show gameplay next year and
It'd be out the year after
maybe
or
holiday.
same year, holiday Q whatever the fuck Q4.
I'm not sure when they. Yeah,
Or
they
Q3.
usually release
Um,
Halo games in October. So
I did not know that. So basically
they
they're
mentioned
just,
it. They
they're
mentioned it.
scrambling.
They're like, and we're still working on the Master Chief Collection.
Oh my god. Like manage your resources. I mean, so right now if
or
you
just stop trying.
if you bought the
just-
Master Chief well,
It
is
works,
there
but
value
it's
to the
well, yeah, you get all fucking 4 Halos.
online?
Yes,
And then is it all like a combined together experience multiplayer? Like are you like
There's-
using all the maps and all that like it's just like
there's
everything
certain
together
ones.
that they've picked from each one?
Yeah,
that they
so
picked from each
well,
Halo?
yeah, like you gotta hop into the Halo 2 multiplayer, but that was the broken part. Was like the matchmaking, like all that shit was messed up.
I mean at this point they're going to have a dead community or they already do.
It's already dead.
It's already completely dead.
I think that's why they
I
want.
mean, they might be able to revitalize it. They might be like, we're going to
why
put
they're
out.
trying to fix it. And
We're going to put out a 1.0 release. but it's 5.5 right now.
They're trying to like maybe do that, but like there's no really point. I don't know. I guess, but you get to play Halo 2 on Xbox, and I'm pretty sure the servers for Halo 2 are not up anymore.
Oh boy!
So like you can't go on a 360 and play Halo 2 online. The only way to play Halo 2 online anymore is through the Master Chief Collection.
Well,
but yeah, that was just it's been broken.
That's weird.
They mentioned it. They're still working on it, baby.
Yeah, cool.
Here we go. Ra-cha-cha. Remember that game that came out 3 years ago at this point? Came out before Halo 5 did?
Hopefully Infinite is a spectacular return to form. Maybe.
Master Chief looked like shit.
Did he?
He looked skinny.
You gotta eat something.
Weird. It was weird.
Eat some space burgers, Master Chief. You're too thin.
Like, why do you look so... all the character models look like goddamn Halo Wars models. It looks like RTS. Oh, those were the online assets, because those are never really as good as the... Maybe it's an all-online game.
Oh,
maybe
cool.
It's
going to be
Halo.
like Fallout. All online, and then you hear a collective sigh from the audience, and he's like, wait. No. It's not like that. But it is. It is like totally that. Like that.
Not only is it like that, it is.
It is like that. Look, I'm showing you it on the screen
right now.
But don't worry. You know, you're gonna like it. You're gonna fucking take that game and you're gonna like it. Anyway, another game that you're gonna take and you're gonna like is fucking Devil May Cry 5. A game that was number 2 for me on the hype train. Like during the Sony press conference when they revealed RE2, I almost fell out of my chair. And then when
I'm
they
shook.
Yeah, I just couldn't and this is what, and I'll skip ahead.
Becky, get my life alert.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Help!
The thing that, and I'll say this to explain the Xbox part of it or the Devil May Cry 5 part of it, was that Sony knew exactly what they were doing with that. Like, it's hilarious because they're never gonna make the first Resident Evil that way. Because now they're like, we know what you wanted. You wanted Resident Evil 2 because it's the better game of the whole franchise. Resident Evil 2 is the best first run of Resident Evils, 1, 2, and 3. The second one, they got it all right. The third one, they went too far into another direction. Resident Evil 2 has everything that made the first one survival horror-esque, like the weapons and ammo management and the walking and all that shit.
Sure.
Survival the third horror. One was what made it. The third one, unfortunately, was an action horror game. That's what most people sort of herald. And then obviously 4 after that even becomes more in that realm, that action realm. And then 6 just goes so far that you'd almost expect it to be a hack and slash. Now it's like, we've completely gone so far away from like scary. And then of course, the game that I never played, Biohazard. See, that's why this one was appealing to me, because I was like, I am so excited to play Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, but what if it's too scary?
I don't think it's going to be too scary.
But 7
based
was too
on what
scary.
It looked. 7 was definitely too scary because it wasn't even a Resident Evil game.
Yes, it was.
Bullshit. That was as much of a Resident Evil game as 6 was.
You didn't even get to the end. It's a fucking Resident Evil game.
Well, listen, if it all ties together into something that's related to those storylines of the game, that's one thing, right? But I feel like it's just something like PT or Alone in the Dark or Eternal Darkness or any of those games that bank on like massive jump scares and huge immersion. Like, I just don't like that. I don't like the feeling of that when you're playing a game.
A survival horror game, Brent.
Yeah.
Horror.
But in this, like, in Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 2.
The Left 4 Dead hand.
They had the perfect balancing of the two, to me.
You just want an action game. Did you see the spooky when he lifts the head up and the jaw's coming off? And
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
That's gross.
I love it.
That's not scary to you?
No. What's scary to me is when I'm walking. Like, what's scary to me is when you played like the original Doom, the Doom 3 for Xbox. When you just all your shit you got is a flashlight at the end of your gun, maybe. And you're just walking around and you're like, do 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 do, and then shit just knocks you over. And I just don't. It's like, why would I want to feel during a game uncomfortable 24 hours a day while I'm playing
why
it?
Why you want to feel?
Why do I want to feel anything, Dylan? I'm completely devoid of emotion. Speaking of devoid of emotion,
Devil May Cry 5.
Devil May Cry 5. Where the second time that they show the titular character of the franchise at the end of the trailer, of course, the other one being Beyond Good and Evil.
They got away from him.
Yes.
In 4, so...
Well, not only in 4, but then in the reboot, where they just did The Other Guy, which was actually a really good game. DMC was a pretty great... It was a fucking great game. I played about half. It's as best as I could do. I played it on PC, funnily enough. Funnily, some more games down my throat.
Isn't that what you used to put oil in your car?
Funnily. I'm excited about it. The gameplay in the trailer looked a little weird.
There's no gameplay in the trailer.
There wasn't there?
No.
I thought there was like a Bayonetta style gameplay, like in-engine like thing that looked like it, kind of.
That what Devil May Cry
Maybe I
is?
watched some gameplay later on because I think there's gameplay out there.
Okay.
All right.
See, that's the plus of doing this later is that you see all the fucking 900. Because we're not there.
We're not there.
I'm not there.
I'm currently not there. Look around.
I'm in hell.
I'm in hell, living in hell. I'm sweating like a pig.
I'm roasting like a pig.
This coffee ain't making it any better for my sweat profile right now. Oh my god.
Good thing we ain't got that 4K camera.
Oh my god. Get that sheen. Ooh. Brent is so shiny.
All right, Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah,
that's gonna be.
It looks like Bayonetta, kinda. It looks a little more like. It looks a little slower, a little bit slower, but I don't know.
Demons
like I said, I can't tell.
Taking over the city.
Do you want to fucking talk about Gears of War? You got anything to say about that shit, Dylan? Huh?
I'm excited for it.
You gonna play some Gears of War Funko?
No.
No.
Because it's a phone game. I don't play phone games. I downloaded the Command and Conquer one.
Yeah.
And I launched it once, and I never played a game. Because I was like, oh, I forgot I had this. I launched it, and I was like, oh, I got something else to do. So I'm not playing that. Gears of War Tactics, probably not playing that. Because
what's that for?
Did they say PC? I think it's only a PC game.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
Maybe.
Does it...
probably Xbox.
The Tactics one is an RTS?
It's the XCOM game.
Oh, it's like a... Is it isometric? I forget what XCOM is. I never played it. Is it like isometric?
Kind of. Like you can like see the whole world.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Like whatever. You see the enemies. And
okay.
You like move blocks.
I mean, I like that kind of game. Yeah, like I feel like I probably missed out on a lot of cool RTSs. Like
it's not an RTS. It's a tactics game
or whatever you call it. Top down. Whatever you want to, in whatever form. I feel like, although there are top down beat 'em ups, but anyways,
top down's a lot of things.
Yeah. I guess what I mean to say is something like Command and Conquer Red Alert 2.
That's an RTS.
Of course, the last... Right. That's what I'm trying to say.
Different.
It just... Well, so what makes the tactics game a tactics game?
They're turn-based.
Is it on a grid system?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I didn't understand about the two. Okay. Now I get what that is.
You know Mario and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle? That's
the
the
same
tactics game.
Okay.
Yeah. There's one for you. If you wanted to get into one and try it.
The tactics style game,
Mario and Rabbids,
and also
it's like
the
XCOM
second
Light. Also, XCOM 2 is on PS Plus.
The second South Park was the same thing. They changed it to that.
The combat was more grid based, but like everything else is.
Yeah, I guess you would call that a. I guess you call that a grid based RPG. Yeah. Then at that point, okay.
And then
gaming semantics 101.
Then Gears 5, awesome, cool. I liked 4, kind of ended like I like this one. I like the idea of moving away from the original trilogy. Like, so you introduce these new characters in 5, and now you're going off with these new characters.
You're staying in universe.
In universe, but on a separate adventure with these new characters, and it even looks like you're leaving JD. I think his name was JD Phoenix behind. But like, there's a tie. There's a tie to what you're on back to the original trilogy with JD Phoenix, and like Marcus Phoenix is in the trailer too.
Mm-hmm.
But you're leaving them and moving away from what they've been doing.
That's happened in a couple other things, not very many though. Like you don't often have a game universe established in the first few things, and then they just say, well, we're going to trash that. We're going to keep it in what it is. Well, no, I'm saying
like five was a huge connection between what happened in the previous trilogy and then what is currently happening in the world, and it gives you new characters. But then you end up like meeting back up with Marcus Phoenix at his house.
Actually,
and so
Devil May Cry is doing the same thing.
Yeah, with Nero.
They're kind of like, we're going to use this. We're going to go off in this direction, but we're going to tie
there's a
franchise
connection
back to it.
But this one, but it seems like they're even pushing farther away from what the original connection that was.
Is the gameplay style different? Because I saw that there was some.
I don't think so. I think it's just Gears.
But she's she's hitting people with shit, isn't she?
You hit people with shit all the time. But the butt of your gun.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't she have like a singular weapon that's designed as like a singular melee weapon of some kind? I can't remember.
It could be, but
I thought I saw her like down a hallway, like whacking some shit, like with a baton. That's what you do. You beat them with a billy club, beating those gigantic fucking monsters with a billy club. Okay. I don't know if I give a shit about the rest of that. Oh, Cuphead DLC.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that to not come out for some reason, although they do
Next
have
year.
to draw. Yeah, they got to draw all them fucking shapes. They got to draw all the shapes by hand.
You gotta.
And then scan them things in. And then, so that's why it's going to take till fucking next year to get a goddamn DLC out. It's probably going to be a full game, though.
They said a whole nother island. So
yeah.
Or probably about 6 bosses, 2 running guns, depending on what the size of the island.
They've literally taken the path of most resistance when it comes to game development in the service of making a game that looks the way that it does.
They streamlined it.
I remember them talking about how they did it.
Yeah, and then like once it was like getting towards the end, they like figured out a nice way to streamline it to where they could make it faster.
Right.
Which is why this is only taking 2 years. Wait, no, Cuphead came out.
It was
October of last year, I think.
Yes, and it took them. Yeah. Didn't it say it took them like 4 years to make it?
Yeah.
God damn.
It's like 2 years to make an island or something. Well, God only know, maybe less than 2 years.
Who fucking knows?
I don't know what the timeline on that one is. What about that From Software game with the
Shadow Die Twice? Is that the one?
Yeah, the Sekiro.
It looks intense as fuck.
Like the grappling hook he's got on his arm.
Yep.
Like built into his arm. That's cool.
Oh, that was neat.
That seems like it could be fun in a Souls type game.
I don't play them, so again, they're not marketing to me. I can't imagine a world in which I play those games. Can you? Because I can't. I can't imagine a world in which I play and enjoy a Souls-type platform.
You don't have any patience
to
play anything.
The games that I want to play are typically linear storylines.
You just want to sit there.
I want to sit there and enjoy the environment and play it. Like, if there's an option that, which is becoming more and more common in a lot of games, to be like, for the casual player that wants to enjoy the storyline, I want to play that. I want to play usually. Although it depends on what the game is. Like, I didn't start Horizon on that mode. I started on the regular difficulty. I also didn't beat it, so that probably proves my point. Although again, it's another game where the scale of it after a while started to me feel like a drudge. Even though for some they're like, and that's the same thing for me as Red Dead. Like when I started playing that game, like I forget even in what form I played it. I tried it, like I
think
played
you
it for
probably
like a
on
week.
PS3. I think you
Some
I
shit
think
like that.
when you got that PS3, you somehow got a copy of Red Dead.
Yeah,
I want to say
I must have downloaded it on a sale. I mean, it was well after the game had come out
Yeah.
when I got a PS3, so it was cheap as shit. But my point is I a lot of times I get overwhelmed by the scale of a game that's supposed to be that. Like they make no bones about the idea that like you're living in the American West and you have free roam to do whatever it is that you want. Like there are people who are like I got so much enjoyment out of just riding a horse for a fucking hour and just looking at stuff. It's like for me I don't think I derive much enjoyment out of that. I want to have beats, like things that happen to me while I'm playing something. I want to have intervention. And I feel like with some of this stuff, and that's even the case, what makes me nervous about Cyberpunk is the same thing that makes me nervous about, right, that's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
Is that I would have to break an age-old habit of overthinking this shit in my head when I go to play something and just dedicate, like if it's really, really a game that I want to play, to just dedicate myself to the idea that, okay, CDPR is making this. It's going to be like the size of the Earth in map scale. I'm gonna need like
stacked PS4s to run it. I'm gonna have the SLI of 2 PS4s together.
I'm so excited for them to do a game of this type. I don't think that there's been a better thing that I could think of for them to do.
Do you like Grand Theft Auto like 3 and 4? Like the 3D Grand Theft Autos?
Yeah. I mean, I liked the old. I didn't play 5 because it was $60 for 10 years.
Still is. The lowest it goes is 30.
It's because they know that they have people buy the sack on the online. I mean, you're basically buying Grand Theft Auto Online for $60, and they know you'll buy it. If for the people that wait for the sales, you're not paying $10 for Grand Theft Auto 5. How many years old is the game now? It's got to be 5 years old.
At least.
4 or 5
it was
even
cross
more.
Cross generation. It came out on the PS3, Xbox 360.
Oh yeah.
And then,
so oh my god.
And it came out again on
more than
PS3.
that probably.
Well, it was just recently came out that it's the highest grossing entertainment property.
Get out of here with
ever.
that motorcycle, you sons of bitches! I'm trying to do something here.
With like over like $2 billion, I think.
I can't. That is absolutely chilling to me. And so
it is literally on the NPD best-selling list every month.
You know what I did play that maybe makes me hopeful, and it's not a big game, but it's the same style.
Oh, okay, wait. I only brought that
ahead.
up because first of all, Cyberpunk's first-person shooter, so that might be a little bit better for you.
I feel like it will be.
And
I mean,
then
especially
also,
if I just follow the main story path, like whatever that is, I'm just gonna do that. Hopefully, but probably not.
I mean, it's an RPG. You're gonna have to do some side quests. Because that's just how they work. You like they're not.
Listen, if the story is engaging all the time, which I know they have a storied history of, then and
also those side quests are, if you said with Red Dead, it felt too big. Like you're going out and like almost doing nothing. I feel if this is anything basing this on like The Witcher 3,
right.
There's going to be something to do everywhere
all the time.
That's how they design their games. I've watched documentaries about their studio, or like they said that they make it so that at every point there's something to either do or look at, or like a tell you a story in between.
I fucking totally appreciate the effort to do that.
Okay, so it's first person, so that might help you. And then you drive around in the car, and the car is like GTA style. So that's how you go around the city, is driving around. So
that makes me feel so much better.
You're not on a fucking horse.
You're
not on a robot horse.
Or fucking robot horse. Forza Horizon. As we're moving along, I really didn't give a fuck about it. It didn't make me feel anything. Forza Horizon 3, when I saw like trailers of that and shit.
You know what it made me feel?
What?
Sick, it's on Game Pass. I'm playing this fucking shit.
I wrote down specifically on this in capital letters, seasons change everything.
They do.
Yeah, they do change everything.
And it's every week the season changes in the game. So that's kind of cool.
I also wrote here in the same way. I was like, I believe I may have discussed my feelings about this game in the past and how the scale of it makes me nervous. Give me the NFSW. I can't even say it.
Need for Speed Underground 2
remaster, and then I'll shut the fuck up.
No,
I don't gotta pay for it. I don't gotta play Forza. I don't gotta play any of those other games. If you just come out with a Need for Speed Underground 2 remastered for PS4, I will give them $60 flat out right now.
Well, you're not gonna get that from Microsoft.
No, I'm just saying in this racing genre, across the board, no matter what, somebody's got to get their head out of their ass and buy the whoever has it. I don't know who owns it. Does EA currently still own it?
They own Need for Speed.
So like, I don't want Payback. I don't want another Most Wanted. I don't want a remake of any other game. I don't want a remake of Carbon. I don't want a remake of any of those. That's the only game that came close to the original experience of Underground 2 was Carbon, and that game was still garbage.
Maybe Underground 2 is garbage, Brent. You just don't remember.
I think it probably will feel like garbage to me now. Like if I sat down and played it now, I'd be like, "Wow, this really didn't hold up." Yeah, right. Burnout Paradise also in spirit is probably again the answer to that. Like the other thing, I told you a million fucking times. I just want Takedown. Will Criterion or whoever does that? I think it's Criterion. Will somebody just do it?
Criterion's too busy working on Battlefront.
Like, do you see? I watched there was a YouTube video. It was probably just like about about the remastered. It was the YouTube of Burnout Remastered, Burnout Paradise Remastered.
The YouTube of it.
It was the YouTube. It was on the YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube.
I think you're familiar.
It's just the YouTube of it.
The comments underneath, a million of them were like, "Where's Burnout 3? Where's my remake of Burnout 3?" People want it. They want it, Dylan. They just won't give it to them.
Just go fucking play it.
It looks like shit now. I can't get it to run good on anything. It doesn't even exist for PC.
Buy yourself an Xbox. Backwards compatibility, baby.
Woo!
I'll sell you my Xbox for $100.
Really?
Maybe. I kind of want an X.
Oh my god. So yeah, they acquired a bunch of studios. Cool, that means something. Bethesda.
That means it gives me a reason to turn my Xbox on. Except all those games are gonna be on PC, so I still don't need that reason.
Yep.
Besides, if I want to play Rock Band.
Yep.
Ha cha cha cha.
It's been a while since we played some fucking Rock Band.
I
man.
played last night, 2 nights ago, Friday night. What's today?
I don't even fucking know what today is.
You looking at the calendar?
No, I was looking at the clock. I just didn't know how long we were running on this.
20 minutes.
So let's go rapid fire, shall we?
Rapid fire.
Let's go rapid fire into the last conferences.
Yeah, but Bethesda.
All right, Bethesda will spend the most time. Well, maybe probably the most time on it because it was really good. Here's what we know for sure. Bethesda's
Andrew WK.
Right. I told you while we were watching it on Discord that they could have just shown a bunch of shitty little roguelike indie games after that. And I would have been like, that was the greatest conference I've ever seen. I didn't get Doom, I didn't get Wolfenstein, I didn't get Fallout, but goddamn did I get Andrew WK. And that's all. Like, I don't even fucking give it. I don't care. I find it hilarious that Rage 2 has Andrew WK on the soundtrack. That's perfect. Like, I think they're selling that trailer with that music, with his music.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. If you didn't give a shit about Rage, because really everybody was surprised that Rage 2 is even a thing that's going to come out from Bethesda. But to have his music in the trailer is like, okay, all right. Gunplay with like real like over the top mechanics and shit like that. I'm okay with that, and it's like the same style as Doom.
I've heard it is open world Doom with superpowers.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing about that sentence I don't like.
The gunplay is like exactly Doom.
It looked like it was like the
Yeah,
exact same thing, like the speed and the
well, it's
and the realism and like the how every gun you wield in those games, like anything they make, it feels like it's like you get this like a hard. Like
I didn't
a
see
hard,
if they were
like,
reloading.
feeling.
I didn't check it to see if they were reloading.
Oh.
Infinite ammo, no reload. You know what they say.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun. Although they can't really. The music for Doom is gonna go down in history as one of the most amazing and appropriate soundtracks in any video game title in history. But so with Rage 2, it's like, well, we can't really beat that. So hopefully, Andrew WK is gonna really do it for us.
They get the idea of what we're going for when fucking Andrew WK turns on.
It seems like it's more fun. It's a
Yeah.
little more tongue in cheek. I mean, not that Doom isn't completely tongue in cheek, but it's more tongue in cheek in a serious action movie, right. Rage is like, yes, exactly. Rage is more like a Borderlands style or Mad Max,
like that goofy,
where it's like real funny and everybody's got like that weird like
smile.
slant. Yeah, they have a weird smile going on, and they're all like crazy. Everybody in the whole game is a crazy person, which I can totally appreciate in that format. Doom Eternal.
What a disappointment! I couldn't be more upset in my life.
You really were like, oh my god, like this is all they're gonna do.
Yeah.
For this,
They said nothing.
Yeah. I think it's.
I guess
think that's
you got
totally
that it was
horseshit.
a sequel.
Yeah, but I mean,
I wouldn't have been mad if they didn't say you'll hear more about it at QuakeCon.
Oh god.
Because
why?
that means they have more to say. They're just not saying it now. That's the part that pissed me off.
They
not the fact
really
that it could have been just like Elder Scrolls or Starfield or whatever, that little like title treatment that just said Doom 2.
Right.
And I would have been happy with it. But the fact that they came out, said it was the sequel. They said specifically this is Doom 2 Hell on Earth. And then they were like, you'll hear more at QuakeCon in August. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's 2 months away.
Wait, so
unless they
yeah,
were
because
unless
could
they were
you possibly get done in 2 months?
Unless
that
they were
wasn't
going
able
to announce it at QuakeCon, and then they just decided to throw it in here so that it didn't get leaked. Because that was one of
there's a lot of that's happened. I mean, that's what I was
one of the
talking
only
about
games they had that like didn't like Rage 2 got leaked. That was like one of their big games.
Yeah.
They did
Fallout 76.
But
Did they do that consciously?
Yeah, because they had the ads on the hotel there at
oh yeah,
at E3. So, well, like they might have just threw that in there because
they had to do something
because they wanted a surprise, and they did plan on announcing it at QuakeCon.
I mean, to me, it still made it head and shoulders above a lot of the other.
Well, still like fuck yes, yeah, so, okay, good, we're getting.
I mean,
it.
But
you knew you were getting it, but
for every one of them were like, God, I'm so relieved that I get to hear about this. I mean, Elder Scrolls 6, a fucking painting with a camera on it. Everybody got it.
Also, Starfield that's been leaked for like 2 years now at this point. So the fact that leak was real, and then they just kept the name Starfield, like,
which is
cool.
pretty remarkable. But
Space Fallout, that's what it's supposed to be.
That's another thing. I feel like I've missed out on so many games that are of this type.
It's not
I have
for you.
missed out on it.
Man, Wolfenstein Youngblood.
I'm so pissed off. Here's why. I started on your recommendation a long time ago. I started playing when it came down in price, which is everything that I ever do. #patient gamers. I played the original Wolfenstein, and one day I logged on to play it, and it had corrupted my save. And I was so pissed off that I took the CD out of the goddamn drive, put it in a package, and I never took it out again. I was so goddamn mad. Now I think enough time has passed
that you could reset
that I think I might be able to get back into it because I'm not so mad anymore.
Also, you're far enough away from it that like playing it would be like playing it again.
Right
Or
now,
playing it for
I
the first
don't. I
time.
just don't want to fucking rehash it just because I've forgotten story points now. So I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Well, see, the first time I played it, I started it and then never finished it, and then
I almost kind of want to play it on PC. Like, I started playing Doom and I was like, the way it's meant to be played.
It's so good.
It is really good. Oh my god, it's just so fucking amazing. So yeah, so now it's like, but I'm so far behind. I feel like I'm gonna die because it's gonna be like I gotta play that first Wolfenstein, and then I gotta play the Old Blood, and then I gotta play the new Colossus, and then I gotta play this new one coming out.
I didn't realize until like I heard someone talking about the Old Blood. This is called the Young Blood.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, I guess I didn't make the connection. As you're looking through the fucking Green Man Gaming sale.
I wanted to see it. I thought it was on sale.
Oh, the original one?
Yeah.
I feel like that was the first time that I was ever playing a game where I was so engaged in the story. Like I felt, I mean, it looks so incredible. Everything those people make. Everything they fucking make, Dylan. Like they can't. It just seems like they can't be stopped. There's nothing.
I'm sure everyone will hate.
Rage?
No.
Oh.
What's the one? Fallout. I'm sure because it's online, so everyone hates it already. So
Yeah.
that's how they're doing wrong. Don't worry.
Well, the thing.
Don't worry. They can do wrong, and it is
not on sale.
It is online, and it's $20.
Oh, okay.
I can get you a coupon.
Give me a coupon. I sort of. I feel like everybody gets. Fallout is a really derisive fucking game. People are like, nothing but New Vegas. It's always New Vegas. And then there's the other people who are like,
say that.
I like the other ones. I don't know. What the fuck are you talking about?
Original Fallout or death.
I don't understand.
I don't like the 3D Fallouts are garbage.
Who the hell says that?
People say that.
Oh my god. The March of Progress is going on without you. It's going to continue without you.
Check you later.
Forever. So you
gonna play Fallout 76 with us?
Oh my god. I think it's going to be the same thing as Destiny. I think I'm just going to not have enough time that you guys dedicate so much of your time at the initial launch of a game.
Well, when you do nothing else, you gotta do something.
But the thing is that there's a lot of times where I'm not doing something. I mean, we talked about this on the podcast in the past, like where I don't, like I could sit here all day and watch YouTube and that's no problem for me. Well, it becomes a problem eventually because for some reason I feel this innate guilt regarding this stuff. But I feel guilt about everything. It's like I'm Catholic, I think. Like I just don't, like I feel guilt about everything. If I'm sitting on the couch watching YouTube and you just bought Fallout 76 and you and Andrew are playing it, I feel guilty because I didn't buy it. Then I buy it, and then I feel guilty because I don't play it enough. And then it just sits on my shelf, and I continue to not feel guilty that I'm not playing it, and you guys finished it, moving on to the next goddamn thing. The cycle continues.
Because when you're sitting there just watching YouTube, I'm also sitting there watching YouTube, but playing something.
But you're also playing something.
Yeah.
See, my setup over here, it's the one big screen. I don't really have like an Andrew setup or your big widescreen where it's like you can put shit in other places. Like if I'm doing something, I'm just doing
game. I full screen.
What?
I just usually have it on the TV or something.
Right, but I can't do that here.
I got a TV right next to you.
I have the TV.
They're looking at you. They can see your TV.
I can do that.
You have basically a dual
when
monitor
I'm home
system.
alone. I can do that when I'm home alone. I can't do that because I have this thing, Dylan. They invented it a long time ago, and it's called the Fiance. Weirdest thing ever.
Seems like a weird tradition, but
yep. I've always felt that it's weird. I mean, to sort of veer way off the fucking topic. Unravel, hopefully, will be the gateway into which I get a significant someone in my life to participate in things.
You have a laptop though. You can also put right next to your.
Yeah, I mean, I have the little stand that I can put my laptop on if I wanted to watch something on that. I mean, it's not
But
like
you
I
refuse.
can't, but what I'm saying
You refuse.
is that
You're a piece of shit.
what I'm saying is that what I more want is like the environment in which I can just go. Like listen, I need a man cave, Dylan. There's no two ways about it. I need a goddamn man cave so I can get all this Bethesda shit out of the way so that I can fucking move on with my life.
Yeah, but you'll still be you'll be sitting on the couch in your man cave watching TV.
That's right.
Staring at your computer.
Except I won't be in the same room as my wife.
Yeah. And that's what's important.
So next, Square Enix.
Blah, whatever. We got to see the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer for the 15th time.
That game makes no sense to me. I'm sure it's continued to make even less. I mean, I know it's made less sense over time. That's what everybody was saying. Like, what? Seriously, what the fuck is going on here?
I think the people that know what's going on knew what was going on in those trailers. And
I
those
think there's
trailers
people who just like it because they know that's what it is, and it's always going to be that way. It's always going to be a weird, uncanny valley crossover of all these different properties.
It's cool when you play it. You're like, oh, fuck, it's sick.
Well, it's because you get the feeling over and over and over of, oh, it's that guy. Oh my god, I can't believe I get to blank.
Play through the fucking storyline of Alice in Wonderland. That's
it
fun.
certainly is great for people with short attention spans. Maybe I should look into it.
You beat a world and
like I could just. That's the other thing is I found out something about myself. I wanted to like focus on reading a lot, like more reading, right, Dylan? Because it makes a more well-rounded person. I don't feel as though I'm a well-rounded person. So I thought, okay, I'm going to start reading something. I was reading things, and I was just like, nah, I can't. I'm not. I got to do something. I can't get into it. Becky had this book from Spin, the Spin magazine, that's like a bunch of essays that were done like throughout the years in Spin. Every section is basically an essay from a rock writer. Like Chuck Klosterman is in there, and everybody's in there. I realized I digest video games in the same way that I want to digest books and literature. Is if it's in short little chunks, I'm pretty okay with that. Great stuff. Like if I can play it and sort of just like leave it alone. It's the same thing with like serialization in television. Like I find myself hard pressed to dedicate myself to watching something that has a serial element to it, like that continually elaborates on a story. I find myself wanting throwaway trash TV, like all the time. Self-contained units of stuff. That's my whole brain,
maybe
how my brain works.
Prescription to
Meds?
Ritalin, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit of that Ritalin.
Dude, if I get me
Maybe
some of that,
go
I'll
hit
be
up-
like,
hit
I'm
up-
ready to play all of these things as they come out because I'm
Now.
done right now. I ran out of shit to play. So anyway,
We could just move on from.
yeah, I mean, Life is Strange. You got to be excited about that new like Timmy Super Timmy
Captain
Captain
Awesome
Obvious
and the super duper awesome cape. Also, it's gonna make you sad because Dad drinks and beats me.
When Daddy drinks his special juice, then he gets mad. It's like, God, why do you got to do this to me? Ubisoft. Pick one. Give me what is it, Dylan? What is it for you? Where did you really
maybe Assassin's
get over
Creed
the roller coaster?
Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm sure. You would. I'll be honest with you. I like that it's ancient Greece. Like that's pretty cool. There's been some ones in those franchise where I was just like, why is that appealing? This is kind of where I was like, yeah, that's pretty appealing.
They've all been appealing. I think like 1 and 2 were
really
like the Middle East stuff was a little
that doesn't
bland.
It seems recycled to me, I guess.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it has an identity.
It was like the beginning, so like it was like the first one.
They picked the thing that they wanted to do the first time, and then for me after that, it still felt like they were still in that same way
because they didn't move far. Like they went to Italy for 2, but it still kind of felt like
it always
one.
still feels. Yeah, it feels like
it's
the
because
same
it's
thing.
the time period that
Right.
it works in is.
I feel like,
But
and
then
would
they
it be
did
too-
like the revolution. But like this one, by the end of Origins, it felt a little too.
You said you liked that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did like it. I beat it, liked it, beat it, played it for like I had a good 40 hours in it.
Wow.
Didn't even see the whole map. There's still blank spots on my map. You could beat that game without even going everywhere on the map.
Yeah.
So after a little while, the rundownness of Egypt, because the probably the Greeks, right, were patrolling basically.
Awesome history lesson, bro.
They had won whatever they were doing with Caesar, So the rundownness and all the sand and stuff starts to get a little bland after a while. And this looks nice and bright and lush, which is nice because
that's an important component to me.
Look real fucking good now.
Oh man, I mean, I think it's so important. I mean, I told you to watch that guy Ahoy.
Yeah, didn't do it.
Do me a favor. You should just watch like his thing on Polybius, the arcade game that doesn't exist, was really good.
The Jeff Minter game there.
What was the guy's name? He goes into a whole in-depth thing and he tries to figure it out, like what the whole Polybius thing was.
The
arcade cocktail machine.
Jeff Minter, the dude who made Tempest, made it for PSVR. It's on PSVR.
Yes, but I'm talking about the original Polybius was a game that was like a CIA. It was supposed to be like a CIA cover-up game, or some shit,
or like brainwashes you.
Yes, that was the one. That's a really good series. The reason why I say that is because in one particular series, they're like a fucking hour long. Like I don't know how much time he spent. I think it takes him months to make these. The production value of them is disgusting, and his voice is amazing. And he's not telling you shit that you've heard before most of the time. Like he's really going like deep dive into like concepts. He did a whole series on iconic weapons in video games. Like he starts off like it's all guns and weapons.
Is the Chronoceptor in there?
I don't know. I think it's all just specifically guns.
It's a gun.
I don't think it's like what is it?
The Chronoceptor from Turok.
Oh well, I think he sticks to reproductions of weapons throughout.
Fuck that. That's not fun.
Well, at any rate,
Doom shotgun?
His Doom shit is among the best videos on those games as I've ever heard, ever. Like, they have, like, the Did You Know Gaming with Doom, and, like, there's people that have talked about it in the past, but, like, he talks about...
NoClip, the whole, like, series of interviews. So that's more, like, behind-the-scenes stuff, though, like...
His shit is more, like, of what significance these games have, like, the original Doom, the significance
yeah, there's, like, a little bit... There's a little bit of that in those, yeah.
But you gotta watch his shit, going back to the gray versus the color thing. He touches on that concept. He marks sort of important milestones, and when games started to sort of turn gray and didn't come back for a long time.
Gears of War.
Yeah. I mean, the gray of war.
The grayest of grays.
Gears of Gray. It is the grayest game of all time. And I think, to me, they're beautiful games. Those games are, like, insanely good looking. They always have been. They've always been ahead of their time in terms of the graphical property of them, kind of like Crysis. Like, but they've always been gray.
Well, I mean,
that's never been my...
It's what you give up. Do you make it good? You kind of...
Well, when you want a certain feel to it,
yeah, and also
you can't not do that. It's like you can't make a Gears of War game that looks like fucking Splatoon. Like Gears of War, but with the color palette of Splatoon. Let's make it.
I gotta get that. The Octo expansion.
I had that on here. I actually wrote that in because we didn't have it on the Nintendo part. You didn't have anything on the Nintendo part. I just kind of filled a couple things in.
Because
it wasn't really...
And I also did it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
That's my hot running time. It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Division 2...
not for you.
No, not for me. Mario and Rabbids, possibly for me, now based on what you've said.
That's the Donkey Kong.
I know they're good games.
Donkey
I mean,
Kong
a lot of people
expansion.
said they're really good.
Supposed to be really long.
Really?
Like almost length of a full new, like a whole nother game. So.
Odyssey, Beyond Good and Evil 2. That game stunned me visually. Like, that was stunning. I think Beyond Good and Evil 2 and the other game that floored me was The Last of Us. Like, those two I put in the same category as, like, where it's like, this is a video game
One
now?
of those games is going to come out.
Oh, yeah.
The other one is going to look nothing like that.
Well.
Because, boy, howdy, does Ubisoft have a track record of showing games that look so fucking good, and then they come out and they don't even look half as good.
The Last of Us.
We're not there yet.
All right, fine, we'll get to it.
There. Fuck this.
Trials
Fox.
Rising. I like Trials. I played a lot of Trials actually on PC. Yeah, I just thought I liked that they just kept it to what it was and just new maps because that was what Trials was to me.
They added something to it.
They're doing a
trick system.
No, oh. Maybe, but they also have the 5-man like slot. They added like more people.
Okay,
to
multiplayer,
the slalom,
yeah.
where you could go and do like it's like 5 people motocross style.
I think you could do multiplayer on it too.
Yeah,
like everyone's in there.
On
Switch.
All right, Sony.
Nintendo Switch.
Sony to me was intriguing.
Intrigue.
I said. In regards to The Last of Us 2, I said, and I quote,
stink.
This trailer stunned me, and I watched it again with Becky. That's saying something. I'm like, you got to watch this. Naughty Dog is doing things with cinematic integration that defy what it means to play a video game. Plus, the promise of girl-on-girl action. Sign me up. I also have to play the other ones. So, here's what my thoughts are on it. Obviously the Uncharted series showed us kind of what the idea of integrated cinematics with gameplay is, like the, press A to get you to pay respects type of concept system, where it's like, you're playing it, but you don't know when you're not playing it. It kind of seemed like that. Even bigger, even crazier than that, where when you were watching what you could assume, hopefully, is the gameplay trailer.
I imagine.
How the fuck do you know when something starts and when it ends? Because that was the first question I had, was like, I've played Uncharted, and obviously it's all of games of a similar type. They're extremely cinematic experiences. When you're playing it, the game is taking over in spots that it normally doesn't take over in a video game when you play it. Like when you're playing something where there's very obviously a cutscene, you see a jarring sort of thing that happens in the action. I just couldn't believe that when you're playing it, it's giving you these sort of events, these sort of, I don't know what you would call them, like beats when you're fighting in a certain area. You don't know what's like when you hit a move, like when it's going to happen. It happens. You've done it, but then there's other parts where I'm like, that person didn't just control that move through that like center bookcase.
Yeah, you do.
And if you did control that move, it didn't look like you did it, because if you did it like shit, you'd be like, like you would come through it in the same way that a control
prompts like to like, okay, I want to like move over here. Like
the fact that there's interactable elements in that world that are everywhere that you don't even know what they are.
The more impressive part is the facial reactions on the character during the gameplay.
Oh my god!
A lot of times,
that was the other part of it too.
When you're playing your game, your character has a static face.
Yep. Like when she's doing something, you can watch in her face and their face. Every character's face has something. Like, and the underneath the car thing, that is even more unique than anything else. Because when she got underneath that, when she looked underneath that, or whoever it was it a woman?
Yeah.
She looked underneath the car. You shot through her face. I was like, is that just going to happen like every time? It's going to happen like every time like that.
Well, probably that's how they designed it.
But it doesn't make you feel like that. It makes you feel like what you just did was a consequence of your action. Like it was like, boom, I just shot her in the face. and you're underneath, like, and then you crawl out. I just can't believe it. It just makes you think, like, it gives you that old feeling that you used to have when you would watch things like this years past, where you're like, this is what video games are now? Like, that's the same. They're giving you that same sensation to me.
I mean, after God of War came out, you believe that, like, that's real. Like, at this point, you don't think it's like a fake something running on well, it is probably running on a PC, but
for them to show it, yeah. But I mean, even the power of it, I just can't. I can't fucking believe it, man. The mocap, unreal. Like there's, it makes everything else look like dog shit. Seriously, the mocap in that game and the way that they map out those expressions and the textures that they map onto those faces makes every other game look like horse shit.
Her nose squishes.
Oh my god. I mean, really, already. I mean, that's what are we talking about here? We're talking about pores and freckles and shine and blood spatter and fabric mechanics. Whatever. I'm fucking enough gushing about this shit. So Death Stranding, it's a delivery simulator. That's what we're sure of now.
Yeah, we're sure of that.
That sounded like I was like a reporter on the floor. It's like, oh yeah, so Death Stranding, what we're sure of now is that it's a delivery postman simulator.
I just talked to Kojima himself.
He told me that what their plan was to just make a bunch of deliveries while it's raining.
He said something about there being an arrow in the FedEx logo.
That totally blew my mind. I've never seen that before. Back to you. That game doesn't seem okay. I'm gonna say something pretty controversial now. Oh, Last of Us Remastered, it's $10. I have to go in and grab that.
Never play it, but
what really the controversial statement that I'm gonna say about Death Stranding to me is
I don't think it's controversial.
It's probably not. It doesn't look good to me at all. Like, it doesn't. And this is coming from the guy who wants more of a story out of most gaming experiences. They're gonna really have to turn this around if it was ever something that I had even considered buying, which I didn't ever, and I still don't. And I think there's probably a lot of people who still don't. There's nobody out there who just saw the Last of Us 2 trailer and then saw Death Stranding and was like, I gotta go out and get me that Death Stranding.
I don't know. I think I gotta.
I mean, maybe
I
it's
have
on
to
the
know.
other side. Right. That's probably on the other
But
side
that's
of
always
it. What they're
Kojima.
working that angle.
That's always Kojima.
They're totally working that angle.
Even when you're playing through Metal Gear Solid,
like,
you're like, what?
What
What's
am I
happening?
Doing?
You're saying
understand.
DARPA a lot. I don't know if you know what DARPA is.
I don't understand if it's his interpretation of Western culture or if it's his interpretation of a genre.
Yeah, but it's
or what it is.
It's like
it doesn't
sci-fi,
have,
like mixed in.
It's like sci-fi. It's like sci-fi, but like so far removed from what we think about it as. That might be the genius of it, really, is that he's making something that's so fantastical. Like, it's almost like prog rock. Like, the way that Kojima makes video games is like how somebody would make like a prog rock concept record. It's like, okay, here's the idea, right? It's the whole record's going to be about this story. 2112, right? 2112.
He finds a guitar.
He finds this magical guitar, right? That's it's like Ayn Rand, and it's about individualism, and like Kojima's just like, I read a lot of books about a lot of different stuff, and here's a fucking crazy ass game that I'm gonna make about it. Like, the way that they explained it was incomprehensible to me. Where it's like, okay, there's this rain, right? It turns back time, or it
makes you older.
It makes you old. Okay, cool, right? So now we have to use babies attached in these womb-type environments to protect us. Am I still on it? That protect us from the rain that will make us old?
I think that's a clone of you.
Okay.
So when you get
that's the
super old,
next
the
thing.
baby ages at the same rate. So you're basically replacing yourself with yourself
all the time.
all the time.
So the only guy that can do this, or does it, is a guy that
I don't know. I
is
think
supposed to.
I think the little baby that lady ate at the end was one of them.
So
That was like you
The
make a
little-
clone out of that, and you throw it up.
is that what it is?
Well, they show the baby in Norman Reedus' throat, so I'm guessing the baby grows inside of you and it comes out your throat.
But then you put it in that thing to keep it alive.
Yeah. Or maybe it keeps it in a certain age state
What
so
the
that it never
fuck,
gets
guy?
older.
It's like a fever dream.
And
it's
so-
like Eraserhead.
And so if you get caught in the time rain, the baby, that's the only thing that'll cause the baby to age. And
you don't.
so you end up dying, but the baby replaces you.
And it has everything that you have. Like what you're doing essentially, because we're calling this Death Stranding, is that we're stranding together a series of deaths, but you never feel like you die because the person that you are is grown with all of your memories just kind
From
of
that
that second.
From that little thing that lady like puts in her. It's
Yep.
like a tapeworm or something.
Cool. Anyway, maybe I might have talked myself into it. Neo 2.
But also, is that a game?
Death Stranding. Is it a game? Can you play it? Will you understand what's going on? Is it an art piece? Let's find out.
You know that body bag? I bet that's like an old Norman Reedus that died. And that he's carrying.
Right. And then
And
also,
also-
like, those big-ass cubes could be... Any number of it could be just...
Amazon packages,
Yeah,
probably.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cliff bars that you ordered off Amazon.
I didn't know they had to go through that much work to do this. Like, somebody's got to die.
It's the future.
And then be reincarnated?
They got hand monsters crawling around that are invisible.
Those fucking floating people too. That's the other thing. Where it's just like, what is that? What does any of that have to do with this? Like, are those people
can't
that
wait.
have passed?
And I can't wait.
I
I
can't
hope
wait.
it never comes out.
That's two most contradictory statements I've ever heard in my entire life. All right, Neo 2. You're very excited to fight giant worms again.
Fuck yes, dude.
Duck dash, duck dash, duck dash, duck dash.
So I was super excited for the From Software one because I'm like, oh cool, I'm getting a samurai game from the people.
The people who
From the people.
Yeah.
Then I saw Neo 2 and I'm like, I'm
getting
also
a
getting
samurai
Neo
game
2.
again.
I'm probably getting the From Software one before I get Neo 2.
The fuck is it with all the goddamn samurais this year?
I don't know. I'm cool with it. I like the aesthetic after the first Neo, but
The grass and the sushi,
okay,
whatever
hold
it
up,
is.
hold on. Let me talk about Neo 2 first.
Please.
There's an interview with the creator that kind of disappointed me a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's all online.
No, I don't.
Neo 2 this year, all online.
It's- You could create a character, which means that it might not be like a sequel of the William guy from the first one.
Okay.
So that's
It's kind of like what they're doing.
But they
with
also
Beyond
said
Good
they
and
also
Evil.
said that basically they got more money this time to really make the game they want to make.
That's
so
cool.
they might it might be more Dark Soulsy and where there's an actual world like a
The
world.
world is telling you the story
yeah,
rather than the
instead-
person.
Well, no, the there's a world instead of you like picking a mission on a map, which is how the first one was.
Right.
There wasn't like an overworld.
Okay. So they're gonna,
But
you're
I mean,
gonna
I
make
get-
a
I
character.
actually-
They're gonna plop you down in the world,
Yeah,
and then you're gonna complete quests.
Yeah, basically, just like Dark Souls, you
Yeah.
you go through and you go down this lane, and oh look, a boss. Okay, I gotta beat the boss. Not like go clear out.
They'll be like
this-
backtracking to where you're like, there's no fucking way I'm
backtrack,
gonna be able
yeah,
to do that, and
yeah,
then you sort of
yeah,
move.
Yeah,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. Which
All
is
right.
a little disappointing because I really like the way
I mean, you know how I am about linear game structure. I'd prefer that over anything else.
picking
but,
a.
I mean, it's not like.
I like to pick because I would hop on and do like.
See, that's where it's appealing.
I mean, it also took a real long time because
You
you're
just
fucking
get up
dying
there,
1,000
yeah.
times. So.
But you kind of get to focus on something.
And Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. I saw them grass blades, and I was like, damn, that's another one of those. Is this video games moment? Because the movements are like super intense, and it's again another one of those things where you're sort of watching the world and watching what you're doing in the world, and it's like, am I playing a game right now, or is it just like cut sequences, just stringing together a bunch of insane cut sequences? Doesn't bother me. It's just that game looked incredible.
Couple of takeaways I had from it.
From that game?
From that game. After playing God of War and having enemies always attacking you, I found it a little weird that it looked like Assassin's Creed in that you got surrounded and then the enemies were
coming at you one by one
at a
type
time.
Of,
I thought maybe are we over this?
Yeah. Now we're going towards a more realistic style of gameplay where you're just living in a world where people are hostile and the AI is just what it is. Like your people are just coming at you. Whereas also, and that seems more real.
Also, what you were talking about with The Last of Us, where the cutscene transferring, there was obvious juts when it was the cutscene,
it's people waiting.
That no, not that, but the where they're about to do the one-on-one sword fight at the end there, where she turns on him.
Yes,
there's a clear cut between a jar where the camera clips. It's not like that one camera that you're. I mean, at this point, you got to do it once one that it takes away from the immersion. And then while watching that, having played Neo, there's one-on-one duels and samurai duels, and this looked so fucking plain comparatively. But also, I don't think there's magic powers in this. But
I don't think you see a lot of it, but you also don't really get a sense of it.
Yeah, you don't get a sense. So I'm I don't know if maybe that's it. There's not there's a lot of magic flying around that makes it look so bland.
Huh? I don't know.
But
yeah,
that's just a couple things I got out of it. I'll probably still play it. Depending on the release schedule of certain games. Because I think we're gonna get the From Software game first.
Yep.
I bet Ghost of Tsushima comes out
Ghost of Tsushima
February maybe next year.
I don't know.
They didn't have a date on it.
I don't think they did.
I don't know if they have a February game because they got Spider-Man in September. Dude, Spider-Man looks sick as fuck.
Spider-Man. Well, I mean, what was the question that they answered? Well, how can we make the PS2 Spider-Man? They were the same satisfying feeling that you have.
The question
everybody always talks about with that game.
They had the answer they had was this isn't all QuickTime events. Which was what they kind of showed before this. They actually showed.
You were almost given the impression of okay, this is a little scary because it's great looking and there's lots of things going on, but I don't think I'm doing a lot of this. Now you actually are,
and you can even tell when you're swinging, there's different contact, but you're not just hitting the button.
Right, it's not just giving you a prompt so you can keep going. You actually have there's continuity.
There's not a pat. You're not just hitting the button in a pattern to swing. You can actually see the contact points and
you can feel it. That's the thing that I think they probably nailed with it is that feeling of momentum. Because how the hell are you going to do that?
And it also reminded me of the Division with the same way in the Division. When you're running up on something, you can see the contact points where you want to run to. Mm-hmm. That's what it kind of reminded me of
they give you a little bit of a little circle, HUD, not a HUD, but
a little indicators that say okay, this is where you're clipping next.
It's good. It looks really good. I mean, this is going to be.
Though, Brett.
I mean, but in a way, I think
it's New York City, though. You know New York. Hey, Spider-Man!
It's a grid system, you simple bitch. Where do you want to go? 42nd and 3rd? It looks great. Tetris Effect. You had shown me that ahead of it. And I was like, damn, this is the trippiest shit I've ever seen in my life. They changed the game on the Tetris shit. It's like you could use the tagline just when you thought Tetris was getting bland.
How do you feel about Tetris with music and particle effects?
Strap this fucking PSVR on your dumb face and look at your particle effects flying at you dumb shit. Buy it. You want it. You're going to buy it. We're going to make it relatively inexpensive. Buy it. You won't be disappointed.
I almost thought about grabbing a PSVR just the headset because the games I want to play on it are
just control based and just kind of you're just
Tetris is going to be with just a controller and Moss with a little rat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look and it just released on Steam for Oculus. So I'm like, well, that's one game that I wouldn't play on this because it was a PS.
I was thinking about buying the full bore PSVR. I was just broke when it came down to like $250 for the brand new headset. Is it still there?
Yeah, the Doom one is $250, I think.
God. Well, no, the Skyrim one is $250 and it comes with the update.
No, there's a Doom one.
The Doom VR. I thought the Doom one didn't have the move
yeah, it
controllers.
does. That has to because it's a move game.
Oh, all right.
I
guess I was getting
GT
confused.
one.
Well, yeah, that one also doesn't have the new headset either. It's got because there's everybody was all up.
Well,
up
it
on
wouldn't
their
matter
tits
for
about,
you,
right?
because you don't have HDR.
HDR pass through, so it doesn't matter. And also, it's a better feeling thing. There's other things about the headphones are better.
Yeah.
RE2.
You already talked about it.
I did talk about it a little bit. The only other thing I wanted to say about it was that I was just excited that it's RE4 control over the shoulder. Like you get to play like through a really good looking game and do it justice because now you have
talk
control.
about town is slow. It's real. It's slow. Like RE2, so you're not running around like RE4, but it's still that same camera angle.
I think I can appreciate that kind of.
Well, it's got to be.
Yeah,
you ruin the game if it's a fast action game.
Right, you don't want to be. That's a game where I'm so fucking excited. I can't stand it. I mean, it just looked. People were fucking over the moon. Like people were over the moon. They were like, I can't believe they did this.
That's the reason
they could have just released 2 and in the same way that they did 1 for GameCube.
There's a reason they went silent on this.
Oh yeah,
it's because they were redoing.
It
was a remake.
Goddamn game. Like I've never seen this before. Like,
and then December, they're like, oh, also it's come out in December.
Oh my god. Okay. And finally, to wrap up our fucking,
I had a little funness. I thought you wanted to do our top 5, whatever. I had that little funness at the bottom.
Okay, so actually, let's really briefly talk about Nintendo because it was just a direct.
It was also just Super Smash Brothers.
That's pretty much the only thing that I was really excited about.
You're telling me
anybody's excited about. I mean, it was really critical that they put every character in every game in this game. Normally, sometimes I think Nintendo makes real dumb decisions about shit. I'm sure they've been. I mean, there's a lot of people that have said in the past that that's like one of their hallmarks is like, why the fuck did you do it this way?
It's just as you could have done it. It would have made it 100 times better just to do it this one way. But
they just never do it. They just don't. But this is the first time that I've ever seen a release from them where they were like, I don't know if it was something necessarily that people were asking for. Like if the idea was like the next Super Smash Brothers could have been just a regular game with whatever characters they wanted in it, and people would have.
I've been wanting ice climbers.
I want the
you gotta have ice climbers.
You gotta have them. So they said to themselves, "Well,
what if we just do everybody?
What if we just do every goddamn character?" And everybody's like, "I didn't know that I wanted that, but now I want it." Good, great for them.
Yeah, but now if they ever come out with
one after that,
they're
gonna have to add other characters or get a licensing deal.
They're gonna have to do every character again. You can't once you do every character once, you can't have a limited roster again.
Yeah, they've really. Although what I think they've probably done here is they've created more of something that's like Windows 10, where it's like games as a service.
Yeah, it's a platform now.
So they basically are gonna say, okay, Super Smash Brothers is a game, right, that you just bought, but we're just going to build on top of that forever. It's not like we named a sequel to it. It's just what it is.
The problem is it's still tied to a system.
Right, but I feel like going forward, if they wanted to do it on another title, all they'd have to do is just port it all over with all of the same characters as before, and then maybe just
the idea
do
of
DLC on top of
the
it
idea of
to buy
buying
character
it again
packs.
Is
right.
You expect something new.
I mean, I don't know why more people, in terms of these types of games, like fighting games and shit like that, especially something like Street Fighter, why you don't get if you were really so into this fucking game that you can't, like it's something that you buy every time, why couldn't they just be like, the next Street Fighter is going to be called Street Fighter? And what's the next Street Fighter? That's what they tried to do with
Street Fighter 5, but then they released a content light piece of... I mean, functional, but still content light. You know what I mean?
Right.
For $60.
I just like you should be able to just be like, I want a subscription to Super Smash Brothers, or I want to buy it. I guess there's no real easy answer for that.
No, there's never going to be.
There's never going to be an easy answer. Pokemon Let's Go. I don't give a shit about that. I haven't given a shit about any Pokemon.
Gotta see a little bit more of it. Maybe I'll pick it up.
Mario Tennis.
Gonna buy it. It's so fucking fun.
Like, oh my
I played
God,
did you play the online stuff or no? You didn't get into it. It plays like Mario Tennis.
I mean, Jesus, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perfect platform to have it on. Octopath
The
Traveler.
last time I played a handheld Mario Tennis game was on the Game Boy Color, and let me tell you, that was a good ass game.
It's a great game. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Actually, I skipped over Mario Party.
Super Mario Party.
Super Mario Party. I feel like this is another example of where they've taken that same sensibility that they've had throughout all of the systems that they've ever developed. And, like, we got to figure out something stupid that you can do with your consoles for this. Like, just the same thing.
That's
like
Mario
Wii.
Party.
Yeah, it's always been that. No, I'm saying, like, not necessarily the motions, but they're like, you could put two of them on the table and link them together. Look at that shit.
Kind of cool.
It's cool, but it seems like they always got to come up with some shit like that. Like, how can we make it so that, like, people are like...
You got it, because then what's the fucking point of putting out another one?
How can we...
You've done 11 of them?
How can we make
10 of them?
How can we make another example of where we can film a bunch of millennials doing some shit like in a sauna? Where do the millennials hang out?
Saunas.
Put in the sauna. You can play your Switch in the sauna. You look. You're on a train with your best friend pals, and you got the little tray table. Put it on there. That's how they really just put those features in the game so that they had some sweet ass footage for the sizzle reel. Like, we got to make something where they put the fucking things on the table and they cross them together. And then sick. Dude, we're gonna make it so that like people are gonna be in the cafeteria, put that shit together. Look how cool they are. All us friends with their individual Switches. Awesome. Okay. It was a Nintendo Direct. Reggie showed us all the hot fucking stuff.
Hot stuff.
Hot shit.
Looking for some hot stuff.
All right. So, to explain to me your segment that you've created.
Oh, my
here.
segment is the best Shadow Drop. Shadow Drop being like, and it's out now.
Oh, well, okay. So these are the ones that you were excited where you're like, holy shit.
No, these are just what happened.
Right. Oh,
and we're going to name
the
best
one that I like, the one that I like the most. So I'll read all of them.
Read them off.
So the first one, the Fortnite on Switch, Hollow Knight on Switch, Splatoon DLC next day, COD Blop 3, which I've never seen it put like that. That is the funniest shit. COD Blop 3.
You never seen Blops?
COD Blops 3. COD Blops 3 free with PS Plus. Fallout 4 on Game Pass, Unravel 2, Command & Conquer mobile game, and Fallout Shelter for PS4 and Switch. Same day. What to you is the most exciting of these?
So let's see, we got Fortnite on Switch, 2 million downloads in 24 hours.
Yeah, that's... I mean, probably that should be both of our answers because it's the most... but really, since you kind of knew it was coming, or you had like an
Chance the Rapper
of it...
fucking
Oopsie.
Tweeted about it the day before.
Oops.
Like, she tweeted about it on Monday. Fortnite on Switch out tomorrow. That's literally what he tweeted.
He just tweeted
and he was
marketing.
Wrong. It was out the next day.
Oh, that's great. Really, really good. Not only did you blow it, but you did it on the wrong day. I think
Hollow Knight on Switch, I've been dying for... It's been on sale for $10 150 times from when it's been released on the PC, and I've been waiting.
When I downloaded it the first time and when I got a Switch, I was like...
Waiting patiently.
Do you know what day?
And finally, it came out, and I bought it. I have it on my Switch. I haven't played it yet.
Do you know what day I probably will fall off the face of the earth or pass out from sheer joy is the moment that they decide that they're going to port Symphony of the Night. And you know what? I could
You
take
got
it either way.
Bloodstained
I got Bloodstained.
Ritual of the Night.
I totally get
It's the
that.
same thing.
But it's not. The sprite size is much larger, and
You haven't played it yet. Don't talk about
there's
it.
some
You don't
scale
know.
issues. But what I will say is that the day that somebody gets their head out of their ass and decides to, in many people's opinion, port the most amazing RPG platformer to ever exist onto a platform that's dying to have shit like that. It's got Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's the closest thing you're ever going to get to a fucking atmospheric Metroidvania.
I'm sorry to tell you that Konami's head is jammed so far up their ass that
That's what I'm saying.
They can't
is
hear
that
you right now,
You
so
can
it's
hope
never
in,
gonna happen.
You can hope in one hand and shit in the other.
That Hollow Knight release, it's got everything. It's a definitive edition.
That's very exciting. Yeah. I'm going to definitely get it. I mean, there's no
only
doubt
$15.
about it. I picked that shit up.
Which is pretty good.
I think that probably, although when they said, shit. So when they said the Command and Conquer game was coming to phones, and then I was like, oh my God, I have an iPhone. I hate my life.
Yeah, not iPhone. So
I was like, I had never felt such a thing of like, oh, like a fucking roller coaster of emotions.
I think it was like one of those little caterpillar roller coasters, though, that you go on. It's like,
it's a small thing. It was like,
that seems kind of cool.
I
guess I'm not getting it.
I felt a twinge of like where I was like, that might be fun to play up on my phone. I mean, listen, that genre has been ripe for touch input, and it's been done, a bunch of different times.
But I think it's like Clash Royale, basically, with a Command and Conquer skin on it. I don't think it's...
Yeah, I don't really like that. What I want more than anything is like a nice, because we have such big phones now, I want like a nice, self-contained, top-down real-time strategy game. It could be pixely. Or what, like the old one, like it could look like Red Alert 2, or it could be like a nice looking one where you just select your fucking shit and move it to where you want it to. I mean, it's not hard. Just make a little Command and Conquer game.
It's not hard.
That I could
It's
buy a
easy.
self-contained. Well,
Easy.
Look,
It's not hard.
they've already come out with
Games
this
aren't
horse
hard.
shit that they're probably going to monetize. My thing is like $6. Give me a little touchy game for $6. It's a nice top-down real-time strategy game.
$6 touchy game.
$6 touchy game. Buy it all at once. It's got like 20 different little missions or whatever, and you can play it with a friend. That's all I'm asking for.
Hi, friend.
You sit there with your friend, and you're like, all right, I moved my troops over. I fucked up your shit. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Needs more minerals. That's all I'm looking for. Fallout Shelter. I never played that game in general anyway. The fact that it was free is cool. Like, that's very exciting. You're just gonna play Command and Conquer right now on your phone. You're gonna harvest some minerals. They have the weather machine in this game.
Oh, see, it's kind of.
Yeah, actually, you are kind of doing it.
You're kind of doing it.
No shit.
You got to take control.
That's kind of exciting. So actually, it does look like Command and Conquer does have sort of the same sort of mechanic to it. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. It looked like when they were playing it, like all the things were bigger, like the buildings and all that shit were bigger. It does look kind of good.
Well, I mean, my screen's small.
Well, I mean, like it's screen real estate wise. It looked like shit took up more of like the screen than I thought. Anyway,
yeah, it's kind of that. So,
you are kind of doing
you
click to attack, like send them to where they gotta go type of thing. It is still on a grid, but it does look like at least you're sending troops and building shit. That's pretty cool.
it's actually not that bad.
I actually do like the look of that. I'm surprised. Well, I gotta go out and get an Android phone now just to play it, or get a fucking Android tablet or something. I think I have one. I wonder if I can run it.
Probably.
So really, what do you think? What's the number one for you for the Shadow Drop?
Probably Hollow Knight, because
I'm going to agree with you.
Big three.
I think it was a twofold decision.
You knew it was coming out, but the fact that they said
too.
Well, no,
I was excited about that. But it's just like everything now.
It should have been.
Yeah.
Then there's no reason it shouldn't have been.
Right. It's been across a bunch of different platforms.
But yeah, I mean, even though you already knew it was coming out, like, the only surprise one is Unravel 2, I think.
Yeah.
You knew Fortnite was coming.
Unravel 2, I was like stunned that it was out that day because you hadn't heard much about
Fallout
it.
Shelter got spoiled because the PS4 trophies popped before the conference.
Oh, okay.
I guess Command and Conquer is a new one too. But that's
As a
just
fan of that franchise, just a little bit that you just did right there did feel kind of did look like
there's
it's
loot boxes.
kinda
Don't
going,
worry.
God damn it. Anyways, to wrap this up, I'm gonna agree with you on Hollow Knight on Switch. I think that was probably the most significant one because I like that game a lot.
I did like the Call of Duty PS Plus.
Make a decision.
I liked it. I'm just saying I like
give
that.
a fuck about
I
Block.
like I like Todd Howard coming out and being like, "Oh, we put Fallout 4 on Game Pass. That's fun. Todd Howard's fun."
I like him a lot. I like all the dudes from Bethesda. I
mean,
like
he
those
just did a
guys.
stand-up routine.
He really did. He kind of like
He was
his
like working the
format-
stage,
His format is like a tight 10 type of guy.
walking back and forth.
Oh yeah, he's like working it. He's like working the crowd
on
and shit.
a
And then you-
360 stage, and he's working both
then you
sides.
see some other shit. You see some other shit where it's like, Jesus Christ, this guy makes fucking Todd Howard look like Steve Jobs, like a fucking nerdy pencil neck dork.
Standing
You're like,
still.
so the next game that we're gonna talk about is, and then Todd Howard comes out and he's like fucking Steve Ballmer from back in the day. Yeah,
Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy raw.
he might as well
running
have had
back
the
and
fucking red leather pants and the fucking shirt on with the jacket on with no shirt under it. He's just running back and forth, being like, "Guess what? It's all online." Wait, I probably shouldn't have said that.
You like playing games with your friends? You like nuking motherfuckers?
The whole thing was almost like the South Park thing when they were making fun of Kickstarter. When Cartman went on stage and he's the Washington Redskins company, and he's just like, "Yeah, fuck you, all right, fuck you." So the next iteration of our experience is more ways to say fuck you to our customers. I present to you the fuck you 5000. It was kind of like that. His delivery was like real, like it just felt, the both of them, Todd Howard and his name escapes me. The other guy that opened it. That opened
Phil Spencer?
Bethesda.
Oh my god!
I almost
keep talking.
I almost
give me a
thought
second.
he was better than Todd Howard, but even though all he did was open it,
That's what he does.
he does like the opening every
Yeah,
time.
Well,
I just thought
was he president?
is he the
My God.
president of Bethesda?
Like yeah.
I can't think of it. Look it up anyway.
Yeah,
While
I'm
you
gonna
look
do
it
that.
up, I'm gonna tell you, and then you're gonna do that. I'll wrap it all up with what I
Yeah.
thought. As far as my top 5 in no particular order for me, I
Pete
think
Hines.
Pete Hines.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? So I liked him a lot. I like the both of them. How like everything that they do during that press conference, I thought was great. So top 5 for me in no particular order. If you could pop the list back,
Yeah, that's the guy.
He's my favorite. Head back up. I'm gonna say number 1 for me is gonna be RE2. I know. I mean, and that's, again, it's no particular order, but that is a little. I think the rest of them are in no particular order.
You're particular. What about the Quiet Man?
Oh wow, FMV sequences like I'm fucking watching like
Yeah,
some,
but it turned into like a game,
wow.
and it looked exactly like him. If
No.
they were made of an eraser.
If they were made out of fucking clay, it would have been the same thing. So I'll say RE2, and this is across the whole week for me. I'm gonna say RE2 is my first one. Number 2 is Devil May Cry 5.
Okay. Easy.
Number 3 is Cyberpunk. Number 4 is Doom. And number 5 is probably, I'm going to say probably number 5 is The Last of Us 2, contingent on me playing all the rest of the titles. Which, okay, so I'll say maybe it's a tie. I'm going to say probably between The Last of Us 2
I like The Last of
or...
they sold me on The Last of Us 2, even though I never played the first one.
Yeah, I'm going to say probably, if it wasn't that, then it was going to be the other most exciting thing for me is I'm going to say it would either be Rage 2. I didn't even play the original Rage either.
I don't think it matters.
That even needs to happen, probably. And Sea of Solitude.
Okay.
Definitely is on the list for me. So that was more like my top 5 to 7. So go ahead. What's Dylan's top 5? I gave you a second to think about
Cuphead
it.
DLC, Neo 2, Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, Cyberpunk.
Yep. I think you nailed it actually there. I think that's a good concise.
Doom, Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Yeah.
Love me the Wolfenstein. Life is Strange. You know how I feel about Life is Strange.
Yeah, I know you like that a lot.
And it's free.
Yep. As to bridge the gap to
Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
yeah.
Destiny or Division 2, Anthem, even did it a little bit for me.
Mm-hmm.
Control.
The flying around in the giant mech suit gave you a little bit of a boner. I know that's probably what a lot of people thought.
That Remedy game, Control, with the morphing gun, that looked pretty cool.
That was the one that was like a PsyOps game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to remember
pushing
what that was. That was pretty cool. The style of that one, actually, I thought was really, really good.
Oddly enough, no Nintendo stuff, really.
Yeah,
Stuff,
there was. Obviously, Mario Party for me is going to be fun because it's like I wanted to kind of return back to that. I haven't played it in 10 years.
I'm sure that'll be popping off in my house, so
it'll be fun as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it, but it's not like I was so goddamn excited. It's just I'm probably gonna buy that because it's a party game and it's something that everybody can
Mario
come over
Tennis
and play.
Was gonna buy that anyways.
Yeah, I was gonna buy that.
Octopath Traveler.
I
played the first demo and really enjoyed it.
Is
the
it really
second
good?
demo's out right now if you want to download it
let's
and
just see
give it
if
a
I
shot.
like it.
And everything you play in the demo transfers over to the main game if you end up buying it. Yeah, so
all right,
it's probably like the beginning of the game.
Well,
and yeah,
so
that was my top every game announced pretty much.
I think what we can safely say from an overall perspective this year, I don't think there's ever been a better time in history.
Well,
I mean, there's been a few like major things that have happened over the decades in terms of video gaming, but it seems like this is really a time of like great. You just got a picture of who is that?
So this dude right here.
This dude right here.
I don't know. He's on the Capitals when they won the cup and they were doing the lap around the ring.
Yeah.
Some chick fucking smushed her tits against the glass, and as he was skating by, he gave him the double guns.
So great, good stuff. So really, if anything, E3 is kind of like a woman smashing her boobs up against the glass at a hockey game.
Yeah,
it has
after
everything
you win the
want.
Stanley Cup.
It has everything you want, nothing you don't need, and
everything you
alive.
Don't need.
And it makes you feel like you're alive. That's what watching E3 this week was like, into the weekend and this week. Just makes you feel alive, man. Makes you feel happy to be a gamer in this time period, in this age, this modern age that we're living in. You have so many options, Dylan. There's never been more options than we've ever had before.
That's why I don't want to play anything.
That's because, we're living in a time where I have severe anxiety regarding game titles that are going to come out because I got a backlog that's the size of it's the size of an ocean liner. Full of fucking games that I can't play, that I don't want to play, that I don't.
Did you ever open Bioshock? You opened Bioshock at some point.
I played through like the first 4 or 5 sort of sections, minutes of regular.
I got to the lighthouse.
Bioshock. Yeah, well,
did you get to the lighthouse?
I did.
Okay. Did you get to Rapture?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's respectable for you.
Yeah, but that's where it stopped. I'm pretty sure. So anyway. That has been
don't do drugs.
Yep. Winners don't do drugs. What else is there left to fucking say?
Who cares?
It's E3, dude.
It was
E3. Great.
We're late to the party.
But now we have all of this clarity. We have the undeniable clarity of being super hungover and talking about video games and sweating our asses off. We're going to give you the real thoughts, opinions about this conference after the fact. So, it is with great and undeniable pleasure that I spin the jacket off E3, whatever the fuck this is.
Late to the party.
Late to the party special. I'm whoever I am. I'm Mr. Hungover. This is fucking the guy that likes Neo a lot. If you want to hear the audio versions of this for however ungodly amount of time we've talked about this, the links to that are in the description. And as always, stay classy. Meme it up. Meme it up, nerd. I'm outie.